Dreams didn't make us king. Dragons did. Yo, we are here for House of the Dragon, episode 1 of season 2. We back in action, people. I'm excited. John, how are you?
I'm excited too. This is going to be pleasant.
Ladies and gentlemen, leave your thoughts down below. What did you think about this episode of House of the Dragon? Does it live up to the hype, the anticipation? Anywho, you know what to do. Leave a like on this video. And if you're brand new, please subscribe and click the notification bell because we are, of course, going to be covering all of House of the Dragon. And thanks to Prepper for helping us edit down these highlights. You guys have been killing it. And thanks to all of you who have been joining our Patreon page. Over there, you get the full-length reaction watch-alongs where you sync up with your own copy of House of the Dragon. And that is available for our super sexy rejects. Also over at our Patreon, we cover several things exclusively with highlights and watch-alongs included. Let's do it. Yeah, baby.
Matt Smith, top villain.
Yeah, makes sense. He's been in every episode. Emma Darcy has been in half of
true. Though she be the main central character. This is a cool new take on the intro, though.
Oh my god, there's all kinds of foreshadowing happening here.
Fire and blood.
Dance of the Dragons.
Oh boy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I see him in Aegon.
Not my king.
The divide. House green, house black.
Yeah, so many great little parallel images. And hinting at how close yet divided Alicent and Rhaenyra are.
Alan Taylor directed. Cool.
Thor the Dark World.
Duty is sacrifice. It eclipses all things.
Are we going to Winterfell?
Oh, snap.
The North owes a great duty to the Seven Kingdoms.
That's supposed to be Cregan Stark?
Since the days of the first men, we have stood as guardians against the cold and the dark.
The wolf shields.
But my ancestor, Torrhen Stark, began a tradition by making an offering at the onset of winter.
Oh, it's cool to see them.
1 in 10 men from our household was to be chosen to fortify the watch.
This is like a draft.
In winter, it will cover all you see, and all memories of warmth will be forgotten.
It pleases me to think that over a century ago, our ancestors treated in this very place.
They carry their mantle.
Surely the great Torrhen Stark would have sooner died than bent the knee, unless he believed the Conqueror could bring unity to the Seven Kingdoms.
You are right in that.
That unity is now threatened. If men do not remember the oath sworn to King Viserys.
That's right. He's Team Rhaenyra.
The Hightowers plan to usurp the throne.
Oh boy, it's already in motion.
To defend her claim, to hold the realm united, she needs an army. War is coming. To the whole of the realm, my lord. We cannot wage it without the support of the North.
What of you?
So they're going to take a minute to adjust because everyone's aged a couple of years since the last season.
The father brought King Jacaerys and Queen Alicent to see the wall. His grace stood at this very outlook and watched as their dragons, the greatest power in the world, refused to cross it.
Wow.
Do you think my ancestors built a 700-foot wall of ice to keep out snow and savages?
What does it keep out?
Dragons.
Death.
Wowie. Keeps out the doom of us all.
Yeah. Prepare for the Night King again.
We're always prepared for the Night King.
If your greybeards can fight, the Queen will have them.
They will fight hard, like Northerners.
A raven's arrived. Urgent news from Dragonstone.
Oh. Oh, he's about to find out. He doesn't know. That's right.
Yeah.
Luke went to Baratheon and Jace went to Stark. There we go.
Take your mount again. We're flying out.
We're flying out.
Maelys must gorge and rest, as must I.
I must gorge.
We're going to King's Landing.
To what end?
To destroy it.
I cannot face that hoary old bitch alone. With my dragon and yours together, we can kill Vhagar and her rider. Make it a son for a son.
Wow.
Vhagar's an OG, bro. You sure?
Was this the Queen's
The
command?
Queen remains absent.
Oh, does she?
To await her return.
She has been gone for days. Too long. She is exposed.
She is grieving.
The mother grieves as the Queen shirks her duties.
Oh, boy.
Oh, so this is picking up like not long after.
Yeah.
A raven that brought me news of Laena's death. I existed for weeks, in torment, refusing to believe what I'd been told.
And Vhagar was Laena's dragon.
A raven has told Rhaenyra that her son is dead. She needs to know it for certain.
All to go alone. What if Aemond were to happen upon her?
Then I would pity Aemond.
Yeah, buddy. You're not gonna think twice.
The Queen was wise to recuse herself. She's not acted on the vengeful impulse that others might have.
Make out.
Yes.
Fly with me. It is a command.
Would that you were the king.
You almost were the queen.
That is a fact, yes.
I mean, she's above it all. Like, if there's one person no threat like that will ever work on, it's Rhaenys.
What a return shot.
Yeah. Leaving off on the most grave look, coming back on the most grave look.
It's a marvel she was able to return from the Stepstones at all.
Getting too old for this shit.
I must have my ship back at sea to lead the effort. It'll be many weeks yet.
It's like everything they're cutting around to is like setting the stage for all the action scenes we're going to get.
Yeah.
The smithy delivered this earlier. I had this commissioned for Prince Lucerys.
Oh.
I was very sorry to hear about your heir's death. It was the blackest of treacheries.
Oh, boy.
They tell me that you're the one that dragged my body out of the sea.
Oh, really?
I am indebted to you, Alan.
Alan.
Dragon! Arm the scorpion!
Oh.
Is Daemon just coming?
Hold! Stand down, it's Vhagar!
Stand
That
down,
would've
it's
been
Vhagar
hilarious.
hauling ass.
And that's how Aemond was defeated.
These dudes
A
just took him out.
misunderstood.
Yeah.
Where is Jacaerys?
Attending his lessons.
And those aware? Taken into the small council. He'll be king one day. He must begin his instruction.
Oh, good.
What if he does not want to be king?
Where is he?
I'm afraid.
Don't be.
Okay.
They'd be fools to come with Vhagar protecting the city.
Not the dragons, the rats.
The rats.
We got plague.
She's having a premonition.
The Queen is an enduring mystery.
Wow, 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 wow.
Is that your boy?
Oathbreaker.
Sir Criston gets around.
There's a chill in the air. Summer is well and truly through.
We're expected at the small council, Your Grace.
It's actually funny. The sex act they were doing is one of service to her still.
Yes. And he had to bend the knee to do it.
We cannot. Again.
For the 12th time.
Yes, Your Grace.
Don't say that to him. He's gonna get even more unhinged. Oh, zip me.
I don't know what's going to happen to them, but they deserve to burn.
Yeah.
Deserve to burn.
I think whenever Criston Cole meets his end, it is gonna be nasty.
These poor rats, guys. We had rats and I refused to kill them.
Oh, wow, rats.
What news?
Our letters to the Vale and to the north continue to go unanswered.
Uh-oh.
Brother is raising the strength of the West to master the Golden Tooth, but we...
They expect to march quickly, meeting little resistance until they reach the Riverlands.
My letters to Rhaenyra. Has there been any answer?
An apology for her dead son?
None, Your Grace. Between that and their blockade of the gullet, we must presume that the princess has refused the offered terms, and that war is now inevitable.
You're goddamn right.
Grace might lend his voice to our outreach.
He's not interested.
Not in any of this.
Is the heir to the throne bothering you, Tyland?
Oh my God.
No, not in the least, Your Grace.
Because I think he wants a ride.
Your Grace.
A ride?
A pony ride.
Get on your knees.
Wouldn't that be fun, Jacaerys? Should the Master of Coin be your royal steed?
Hell yeah.
Perform.
Humiliate yourself for me.
There are important matters to discuss, despite Sir Tyland's interruption.
Off you go, Jacaerys. Good boy.
You've served your purpose here well.
If we are to break the Sea Snake's blockade, we will need to bolster both the Lannister and Hightower navies.
We do have need for a new master of ships.
Enter.
Rachel.
Aemond,
My man.
The king summoned me.
you do not have a seat at this council.
Oh, offer to the Greyjoy.
Path to King's Landing is through the Riverlands. We must establish a toehold there. The River Lords will either declare for me, or they will meet Vhagar and Sunfire together. And we can burn the blockade while we're at it.
Rhaenyra has dragons as well.
Mine are bigger. Fat old Lord Tully will either raise my banner or see his burn. We should fly to River Run.
You put him in there, man.
And Vhagar is needed here to deter Rhaenyra from attacking, in retribution for the death of her son.
Yeah.
Errors were made in the hours following King Viserys' death.
You don't say.
That's an understatement.
They send ravens by the hour. Many and more houses will declare for you in time.
Boring.
The man I relate to the most.
I had come earlier to have a word before the small council convened, but your handmaiden said that you were indisposed.
He's jealous.
Who have you been showing your toes to, if not me?
I have completed questioning the whole of the castle staff. They produced rather interesting details, but I am satisfied I have exposed all who betrayed our trust.
Did you kill them?
What of them?
They no longer breathe our air.
This guy.
So did you kill them?
Who does that mean?
Just leave me.
I feel like something terrible is going to happen to them because we're putting so much emphasis and focus on them, and we're like in their perspective. Getting the sense that this season's going to have us play with which side are we going to choose as an audience.
Yeah, are we going to take the
My mind's made up. You can't
Hightower
convince me.
perspective? Make us sympathize with them before reminding
convince me.
us
Can't
that our
convince me.
allegiance should have been strong all along.
There's one side only.
We'll see.
Ah, the dragon wing.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Damn, great shot. Looks amazing.
Yeah.
This is why people don't go to the theaters.
Yes.
You get quality at home.
Get this on HBO. Wow.
Oh, that's sad.
Any bits of old Luke in there? Oh, boy.
Great job to the props department here.
Woof. From one on the way to down to your last one.
Oh, she feels the pain.
Let's have the first petition, my good Lord Hand.
Ooh, you got the flourish.
How might your king be of service?
'Tis my flock, a tenth of them taken by
Oh, no.
Crown on. If I'd had the time to plan,
We should
perhaps.
return them.
Really?
You need your goats for the winter, don't you?
Sheep, your grace.
Sheep, even better. I shall make your flock of sheep whole.
Hey, about that.
I am an altruistic king.
We already made a promise to all the Crown lands that a tithing of livestock would be necessary to sustain the dragons for their increased activity and, pray not, eventual fighting.
Right. Perhaps we could just return his sheep. He came all this way.
If you return one herd of sheep, Your Grace, you'll soon find them all at the foot of your throne expecting the same.
They won't know.
When King speaks, Your Grace, all hear it.
Just be transparent.
Listen, man, my hands are tied.
This is embarrassing. This is a bad first impression.
After further thought, I have decided that I cannot restore your sheep. If war were to break out, my dragons will require feed. Bring the next.
We were so close, man.
Iron costs have grown. A lone scorpion takes weeks to build. To put it simply, we are struggling.
We need that iron.
If we could but have the crown's coin before we started work, it would bring great relief.
A deposit
Not just to me, but to all the smiths serving your cause.
in advance.
It's just a big preparation for war episode.
You shall be paid well. My army cannot win a war without your weapons. You should continue their making. Our victory depends on the efforts of the small folk.
The small.
You have my most sincere gratitude, Your Grace.
Never mind.
Why don't you just stand next to him, Otto?
Yeah, dude. Just whisper in his ear.
Tis the hand's want to keep a firm grip on things. You controlled your father the same way.
Oh, Larys.
Viserys had a certain reputation as being pliable.
I am aware.
I would think, as we find ourselves standing within a hair's breadth of war, that you would wish to be viewed differently.
Yep.
My man.
Plant that seed.
How?
Otto Hightower was your father's hand.
Become the new hand, Larys.
Oh my God.
I find myself wondering, do we pursue the same end?
I must admit there are days where I myself can't be sure.
I should tell you mine.
And then you show me yours.
It's victory.
And how would you define victory?
Victory at all cost. Winston Churchill, baby.
Rhaenyra bending the knee and Aegon sitting the Iron Throne in peace, as Viserys wished.
Well, if that's how you describe it, then we are aligned.
Hey.
There's details.
An ally would not repeatedly cut my legs from beneath me at that table of men. I sit there and I feel your anger.
Frustration these critical days since Viserys' passing haven't gone to plan.
That's not my fault.
I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
My sons both see you as the great example. The hand to 3 kings. Aegon is ever eager to prove himself, and Aemond is angry.
That's one word for it.
Rhaenyra's son took his eye and was never punished for it. What he did, however vicious.
The caprice of youth.
That's an elegant way to put that.
But if you undermine my voice, both those boys will grow deaf to it.
The dynamics in their scenes are always great because they have positions to deal with, but also father and daughter.
I hadn't seen it that way.
We only need to mind Aegon until the novelty of rule is spent.
You're an influencer, Otto.
But you must accept that the path to victory now is one of violence.
I know it, but that does not mean it must be wanton.
Wanton?
Yeah, you know, like needlessly cruel and erratic.
What's she doing here?
When last we met, there were two of you.
Yeah, where's Eric B?
Did you think I would wither in your absence?
I did not think you would flower a traitor.
You speak of highborn games. I am commonborn.
How long have you been selling secrets to Otto Hightower?
As long as he had gold to pay for them.
Who sent you fleeing from King's Landing in such disrepair?
Oh.
You put Aegon on the throne.
That was the Hightower's conspiracy. I merely profited from knowing Aegon's movements.
But you delivered him.
He would have returned home eventually for gold and for respite, as he always does. I simply sped the business along.
Business that ended with the theft of the Queen's throne and the murder of her son.
You only blame me because your true enemies are out of reach.
Oh.
My arrangement with the Hand was purely transactional. I held no loyalty to it.
But I do to you.
What else do you know of him, his plans?
Little unless...
Some good you are.
Moved to the cell. She is to be treated as a traitor to the crown.
Damn.
Forgive me, my prince, but the lady speaks the truth. She was no agent of the Hightowers.
What is it to you?
A matter of honor.
Was it honor that made you stand by and watch as the Hightowers usurped the throne? You and your traitorous twin?
No.
It was being outnumbered.
Aegon was in your grasp. You should have killed him yourself.
I reckon our names of the King's Guard are just 8 and 10. And we swore the same oath to defend the whole of the royal family.
That is a conflict.
So what were we to do when they turn against one another?
I hadn't thought of that.
He keeps coming at these guys with his anger, and they're all like, actually, Daemon.
Yeah, listen, man.
Actually, Daemon.
You're not looking at the whole situation.
He just keeps leaving going, damn it.
Damn it. Somebody cower to my wrath.
I need to be right.
Did you find what you needed?
God, this like intimate body language between them.
Yeah. I should have married a family member.
That's the lesson I'm learning from this show. More than any other.
Your Grace, my Lord Husband's blockade of the gullet moves into place. All seaborne travel and trade to King's Landing will soon be cut off.
Do something. Do something nasty.
Flip the table.
I want Aemond Targaryen.
Whew.
Yeah. Bring me his head. Oh my god.
He's like, she's being irrational.
She needs to calm down and listen to reason, guys. Am I right?
If you want Aemond, you got to kill Vhagar.
In your years as merchant of gossip, you surely accumulated spies within the Red Keep. Servants who knew the comings and going.
I was once in your thrall, but no longer.
I quit.
A transaction, then. Your knowledge in exchange for your freedom.
You mean it?
Would you grant it?
Lady Jane Arryn has pledged her support in exchange for a dragon to guard the Vale.
Got it.
Those errands.
Lord Cregan Stark has promised 2,000 men.
Aww. Big, empty, cold room.
She needed someone to share the tears with.
Yeah. Someone to actually grieve instead of just plotting.
I mean, in this time span, there's been so much loss. Viserys and her son.
Lucerys. Luke.
Valerie Florent.
I think the last time we saw her here, she was with Rhaenyra.
How far we have come. Thank you, old druid man.
Sarah's Targaryen.
Interesting to start this season off on like an incredibly somber note. Like it makes sense. It's like years of waiting for the show and then to go so grief heavy.
Yeah.
Instead of pedal to the metal, let's kill, you know.
Yeah, it's like the first season ends on a note where you're like, oh man, we're just going to go straight to the carnage. And yet, yeah, this world don't work that way. Say his name.
She has to.
Say it.
She has us on some honor.
Lucerys Velaryon.
Son of a black man.
Yes. A true biracial member of the kingdom. And a young man of strong character.
Commander,
Never gone for long. I'm told you bear a mislike for the Hightowers.
The Hightowers.
My man. I hope you really mean that.
The White Worm said you're one of Aegon's rat catchers. You must be busy. That castle positively crawls with them now.
Woof.
I heard the White Worm was dead.
Her ghost told me you're a betting man. Fighting pits. How deep your debts? I was also given to understand that you possess a unique knowledge of the Red Keep.
Who's watching?
Know them better than the shape of my arm.
Which also is shaped like a rat.
This is my friend. Tonight he's going to be your friend. You're to find and slay the Prince Daemon Targaryen.
Oop. The what now?
But I understand he's quite good in a fight. You
I
want
wanna
to
bring
take
like 5
caution.
extra guys.
One half. We'll get the other when it's done.
I'd want so much money if you're asking me.
I would want like a boat full of gold.
All right. What if we can't find him?
I want a refund.
You should be leading the van, and I should be flying cover on Vhagar. No castle would dare to raise Rhaenyra's banner against us.
Mayhaps we could petition the king privately to send us out.
This is the alliance we needed.
Rosby and Stoke were small castles right in the shadow of King's Landing. They would not want us for enemies.
We could add their levies to our own, our host growing as we advance.
Yeesh.
My brother is hostage to my grandsire and mother, and they tell him that a war of dragons can yet be avoided.
'Tis inevitable. They must see that.
Otto fears to upset the order of things, and Alicent is simply angry.
Calls her Alicent.
She blames me for starting this war, after she plotted with my father's council to usurp his throne.
I'm just adding garnish, you know?
She has a gentle heart, and Rhaenyra is a cunning spider. Long ago, she drew Alicent into her web.
She's a Black Widow.
Intoxicated her.
Man, he's not talking about Alicent.
Nope.
She holds love for our enemy. That makes her a fool.
In his own way. So
He's not talking about.
Yeah. Who's he talking about?
I mean, he's still so resentful towards Rhaenyra because he never quite got over her.
Return to your post, Lord Commander. I must have a word with the prince.
Oh, was there an actual spy who saw the conversation going down? He's coming to warn him.
Could be. That one shot was very voyeuristic.
It would concern me, grandson, if plans were being considered beyond the ears of your king and his hand. You've a zeal to act, I understand. I was young once myself.
I only wish to serve my king and my house.
In my own way.
You and Vhagar, greatest single power in the realm. Wasn't obvious before, it certainly is now.
What do you mean?
You must keep a grip on your impulses. We both know that your brother cannot.
That's why they put the brother in the throne, because they can control him.
Into the sewer we go.
Bring the dog.
We're gonna have the dog kill him. Wow, man. Can you take like a global tour of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon sets?
As well as the nobility.
Whow.
Aegon was strong. My nephew's already taken that one.
It's really easy to be seen right now.
My mother and grandsire mind me like some helpless duckling.
Oh, but you're the king. Who gives a shit what they say?
My brother at least knows his place.
Uh-oh.
Aegon the Generous, then. That would charm the small folk.
I like that.
Is there more strong dragon heart?
Ah, my man.
Oh, Viserys, rest in peace.
Amazing how you can just sneak like that.
It's amazing what a little bit of drink will do. How many blind eyes it can create.
Rats.
The rats. Oh, wow.
How do we get upstairs?
The royals live up there. Well, it's off limits, it is. Different group of rat catchers work the upstairs.
If we're to kill a royal prince, where do you think we're going to find him?
This guy's a great voice.
I thought the rest was your bit.
Nope, now's not the time.
I know my way upstairs. I just don't know my way round.
Oh, boy.
Show me.
This is gonna go well.
Hey,
Dude.
hey, that was messed up.
You made him bring the dog. Oh, no.
No one's here.
We need to keep looking.
I told you, I'm not supposed to be up here.
Did you not hear the prince?
Yeah.
No head. No gold.
Oh, no, they're playing, though.
Wait, where are my coins?
Yeah.
I forgot how my whole plan went down. What horror is coming our way?
Stay still.
Oh.
Dude, what have you done? Helena.
No.
She's the queen, she is.
A son for a son, he said.
Yep.
Or does she look like a son to you? Over there.
Oh, one of the little boys.
Oh no!
Oh my God! Are they gonna do this?
No.
That's why she feared the rats.
No.
This might make people turn against Team
Once a boy.
Black.
The mother knows.
Do anything but what I ask, and I'll bleed the whole lot of you.
This is so bad.
I have a necklace. It's of great value.
They'll
my
take it
money.
anyway.
Yeah.
That's not a son.
Why don't you bother to remember his name? Wow.
It's the other one. She's not going to give up the king's heir that easy.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's telling true.
What?
You can see it in her eyes, I guess.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Og.
Oh my God, we really did this. That is horrible.
That's a lot of
Oh,
sawing.
that is a horrible.
Being a mom in this world is the worst.
Oh no.
Is the absolute worst. God, just this like harsh cacophony of sound.
Helena,
You weren't supposed to do it again.
what's happened?
Oh my God.
They killed the boy.
The rats. Damn, that is
What a great bookend.
said something terrible was going to happen to their side.
Yeah, I did not expect that. In the last
ugly.
finale with a grim look from Rhaenyra, and now you're in the premiere with a grim look from Alicent.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
I'm still House Black.
I mean, this was clearly some clerical errors. He clearly did not find the A squad to carry this out.
They did not understand the technicality here. They thought it had only to do with just getting a prince's head. It was
Just give me any son's head.
It was very specifically Aemond for many reasons.
Yeah, he named him in the bargain.
Yeah. Oh man, that's horrible. That is really icky.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh man, I mean
That is really disgusting.
Yeah.
No wonder they put emphasis on him in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
to make
right.
you sort of care about him.
Yeah, having him play around with what's his name with the Lannister guy.
I wonder if Tyland. I wonder if
Tyland,
if she pointed to the sun in hopes that they would think that she was lying, and then go through with it. I think she was trying to anticipate because you see, because she can see ahead, and like I don't exactly know what her powers are. She has some capability of foresight, and like she said the thing about the rats. So I think she might have saw like, oh, if I point to him, that's what she was like going through her head. That they might
And
think the
they'll think it's
opposite,
the other one.
what the guy initially did. And I think that's why they made a whole moment of no, that's why she's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was crazy.
Yeah.
His whole episode was just like grief, pain, building to some horror, and you're like, I don't exactly know what. All I know is we're getting a lot of screen time with the Hightower side of things. And so I'm just under the impression that we're like some terrible blow is going to be delivered to the people at King's Landing, and sure enough, it was. That was really that is so unsettling. Man, the first episode of last season, and this is Jesus. I just love doing horrible things.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh god, because that first season, I just remembered the first episode with the birth, and then now to do this scene. Oh Jesus!
I hope nobody else has to give a birth in the rest of season 2. But yeah,
they do this emphasis on like royalty should feel like the most protected, but it's the most dangerous.
Well, yeah, because everybody's gunning for you, and in this day and age in particular, like, can you trust anyone ever, really? You know,
I do have some questions about why there wasn't anyone near to protect. You think there's someone there standing guard, like a king's guard or
I
something.
feel like they should all,
to be
have
protecting. And I think like, and I remember in last season they would do that quite often. Like, where were you? Why weren't you around? And you think after a certain point, they didn't even like acknowledge it. Like, there's no one around to protect them.
Yeah, you would think that in a moment in time where they are all clearly anticipating a looming war and are now aware of the fact, and they know that Rhaenyra is aware of the fact that Luke is dead, and this has taken place at Aemon's hand. Like, you would think they would up security that much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of the episode?
I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's got that same assuredness of hand. It's got that same sort of steady, build to it that, is exemplary of the best of just what this crew is able to put together continually, barring the lesser seasons well-trodden of Game of Thrones. Like, there's nothing quite like this, the way it moves and the way it breathes through these big cavernous castles, and the way that, like at the end of that first season, we have such a clear flashpoint of like, damn, this is the moment where like the war truly begins. And then yet, even though like the seed has been planted and we are past a point of no return, I always appreciate that they're able to like bring you back down to earth and remind you that like, oh no, there are still many debates to be had and many tests of allegiance and a lot of machinations that need to take place before the actual thing we're all expecting. And I really like that they use the prospect of all-out war, of bloodshed and battle, of, the big old kind of money sequences that, you look forward to in a show like this eventually. I appreciate the way that they bring you back to earth and they're like, no, we can't just go straight to carnage and battle. This is still a political game. And even though this looks dire, and even though, again, there are points of no return that have been crossed, there are still considerations we need to make. And this is all still super fragile. Like our, as the Hightower side of things, foists Aegon onto the throne, like they're still fresh off of what some might call a mutiny. So like even their, standing is questionable. And I like that, you take even those little moments, because there's so much manpower and thought power that goes into, keeping the realm what it is. But then you have those little moments where you see somebody like Alicent grieve, and kind of acknowledge the mess that all of this is. And it does really nicely, even though it's been so long, it harkens back to the core tragedy of just these two little girls, who grew up, under the shadow of all of these political interests and have now been completely swept up into and corrupted by them. It's fascinating. What did you think?
Yeah, I liked it. I think like when just because it's like we're finally returning to it, I've watched it a little bit more of like from the head, less from the heart, because I'm like, I just want to make sure even though it's actually it's a relatively easy episode to follow.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, like, okay, where are we at? And while this one felt a little bit more like setup for what's to come rather than true, like, rich character scenes, like, we still got, like, a decent amount of them, but, again, a lot of it was, like, some reminders. Like, there's no recap that they played this with, at least on our end. There's no recap here. And so there is some like, okay, we got to get like refamiliarized with some things, and then we got to get resolve some things that were not really acknowledged from where we left off before. And I'm looking forward to seeing how immediate this plays out, because the last season had so much time spanning, and it seems like this one's going to be a lot more focused in terms of its time frame that they're going to be doing, in terms of its buildup. And to see like, the plotting and trying to form the allegiances still, and yet even with it, the part that tears itself from within is like the family itself, So you have like Aemond and Criston, and then you have like Criston and Alicent, and then you have Alicent and the friction she's experiencing with her father, like all these like
constantly being undermined by everyone.
Whereas like House Black seems a little bit more aligned,
sure.
Like I don't know where this is all. I mean, I know like Dance of the Dragons, and it's supposed to end with no dragons in the end, it's like about as far as I know, but I don't really know like the details of where this all goes exactly. And so I'm still like, oh, there's still so much up for surprise that I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. And I think for like a first episode back, I'm like, yeah, it's like a solid 7.5 out of 10 for me, I would say. I was just happy to be back. I was just happy to continue,
Yeah.
And they pick up in a nice way. But yeah, a lot of it felt a little bit more, we got to get some information out here. But then the tension and stuff started kicking in more so in like the last like 15, 20 minutes of this episode. And then we started like, okay, now we're getting back to like the emotion because there's a lot of somberness and such, understandable. And like I kind of feel like the somberness and the grief would be a little bit more effective if you watch this episode like right after the last episode.
Yes.
Yes. Like, cause I did a rewatch, but the rewatch I finished like 2 weeks ago. So, but like for a lot of people, they might've just watched a recap or they haven't seen it in forever. So I'm like, okay, maybe some of this grieving stuff would be like, oh, I'm probably crying with you there. But even for me, it was like, oh, it's been like only a couple weeks. And I'm
I just saw the finale again, like within a couple days.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm not that far off from.
Did you watch the finale or the whole show again?
I watched the show again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then watching the finale again, still for you, even for me, I'm like, oh, that's funny. So you still weren't even like that affected by the.
I mean, this feels more like episode, and maybe it is because of the proximity. This feels more like episode 11 than episode 1 of season 2, in a sense.
Sure.
Like it doesn't feel as much like, oh man, we're starting off with some kind of like tone-setting bang, other than going to the wall, going to the north, kind of reminding us of all those things, which was, striking after all the time we've spent in other parts of the realm.
Mm-hmm.
But this, I mean, yeah, it does definitely feel like the only thing that really threw me was at first I was like, oh, that is Jace, because he does look markedly older than he did before, in episode 10 of, or in the most current day that we find ourselves in toward the end of season 1. But other than that, yeah.
Wait, which one was Jace?
He goes to the wall. Jace is the other son.
Oh.
Yeah, because she sends him and Luke both, or she sends Lucerys and
when
Jacaerys.
he's looking up at the wall.
Yeah.
He's in the he's got the short hair looking up. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why he says that thing about like, oh, I'm glad you didn't send your dragon to cook me, and I was like, oh, that's right, that's him, because he's just aged, he's a kid. But yeah, like this definitely felt more like a continuation, and I thought
Cregan was. I thought they said that to Cregan.
May have been, but that's Jace at the beginning though, talking to him.
That's
like,
Jace,
isn't it? Because
I got so
he
confused.
comes back. Yeah, no, because he looks different because he's like gone through puberty, and like he's just got a slightly different, I think, facial structure than he did in the previous season.
Yeah.
It's been
I got
good
confused.
few years.
That's why I thought I was looking at the Stark actor.
No, because the Stark guy, I'm like, okay, so you're new, or you're at least you're not one of the sons. You're not someone whose face I should have like a full kind of grasp on. And then I was like, no way, because you're in the wall. You're sort of removed from the previous circumstances, and it leaves you to go like, oh yeah, she did send the both of them on the dragons. We only really followed Luke. So
long-haired one was Jace.
Yeah, I believe so.
God, that was
unless
confusing.
I'm very much mistaken.
I kept thinking I was looking at a different character.
Yeah, at first I was like, okay, we just two guys, but I was like, no, this has to be him. And then he rides off on the dragon. So
that's why I was like, he has a dragon.
It took me a second too, because I was like, am I just getting this wrong, or has he just aged and that's the trouble with casting actors and then shooting for 3 years or coming back after years.
Right.
But I like that show, and again, like that's a thing that makes it feel sort of like in episode 11, where it's like, yeah, we ended the last season with the boys being like, hey, we got to go out and let us be your envoy, let us test the allegiances, and make sure that these people re-up their oath to you. And so it's like we end the first season with the tragedy that befalls Luke on his journey to do that, and then we pick this one up with Jace just successfully completing his mission and then returning, and so that's why that punch, like that was a punch where he comes back and he doesn't even know yet, and Rhaenyra has started to bear the full brunt of the grief and all that, but I do agree, it's like this episode is like keeping things moving, like and you don't really spend much time really at all with Rhaenyra. Like, she's removed from so much, and like that makes sense to me too in a contextual way, because obviously I think you said, it's like there's almost nobody here except for Jace who could, really share like a tender moment with her, or a moment of like true heartbreak and understanding, and just like, experience outside of our responsibilities and the tension surrounding our responsibilities as leaders, heirs to the realm, maybe,
But yeah, it was a good build-up.
Yeah,
I liked it. And it's like with that ending too, like this whole time, Alicent actually seems a little bit divorced from just how much of an impact it might have on Rhaenyra, that the fact that Aemond killed her son, she seems like, it's not apathetic. She's far from it, but I don't feel like she's understanding the impact that would have. And now she's going to feel it from her grandson being killed.
Yeah, well, and this is only going to get so much worse, because it's like I feel like if they had just successfully gotten Aemond, there would almost be a way to look at it and go, well, we all knew this would probably be in the cards, or at least an attempt like this would be in the cards, but because they find the wrong prince, I feel like, this is going to be, it's always fascinating in this universe, the way you think one thing is going to be the thing that kicks off like a grand, again, is like the precipice of the war, the thing that makes everything go to shit. But there's always like a couple more steps we need to go. There's always like a couple more truly messy maneuvers that need to happen to like really pull all the gloves off. Because up till now, everyone in Team Green has been sitting around being like, Aemond is proactive and he's just got a lot of ambition. Like they're dancing around it. And I think this is going to clinch there's no more hope for goodwill until, I'm sure, whatever sort of late on moment, or I would imagine late on moment between Alicent and Rhaenyra comes to pass, where they can both be like, hey, this is super messed up and I hate you, but isn't it sad how far we've come?
And Aegon as king is actually more fun to watch than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Because I like how he's trying, there's almost like a Homelander thing about him. Like he wants to be liked still.
Yeah.
The way how he's like kind of trying to be like a genie granting wishes and be like this altruistic giving king without understanding the consequences or really the strategy behind how of the machinations of what went down that led to a lot of these people being stripped from these things to begin with. And so like having to have his grandfather be there to keep reminding him of things or to intervene, like the hand is supposed to be an aid, but it seems like that he's really there to keep him in line,
Especially at that age.
And watching how that's unfolding is really amusing, because like, again, there's just so much friction within this Targaryen household, Targaryen and Hightowers, there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of fun to be had here, and I'm just kind of looking forward to watching it all sort of focus up. It did take me a while. I didn't realize this very much. I was confused looking at the Jace actor the whole time. I was like, is that Cregan? Is that who I've heard about?
Yeah.
Because I kept hearing about Cregan Stark. That's what everyone hyped up after season 1. It was like they mentioned Cregan at the end and they were like, Cregan Stark. So I was like, is Cregan the long-haired one? Because he looks a little bit like a Stark right now.
Yeah, totally.
It literally looks like a Jon Snow.
And that's the problem. It's like, damn, I wish these kids were blonde and were biracial.
That's why I was like, wait a minute. What is the other guy? I was so confused for a second.
Yeah, I'm like, I forget, like, part of the whole troublesome thing about you guys is that you just look so plain.
Yeah.
You just look like so many other people, not just the late Lord Strong, which even that, like Larys, like is their direct relation.
How did his hair grow so much? How long did it take him to get them?
That's a great question.
Raven caught up to them faster.
Yeah, he was traveling long enough that he went through another stage in puberty.
Somehow the Raven caught up. Yeah, how does hair grow so long?
It's movie magic, baby.
He left.
It's a long ride.
He left with short hair and he came back with really long hair.
North, yeah. I don't know. I like his new haircut though. It looks good if he fits him. Hopefully there won't be any more cause for confusions like that. Because the other kids too look pretty much the same, or at least Aegon and Aemond do.
Yeah.
I agree. Like the whole Aegon stuff, I'm curious to see, and I'm excited to see what happens with him because obviously he's going to want his own autonomy. and they established that whole bit about like, he's not really interested in being the king. And like, I like watching as he tries to get interested and then is quickly reminded by Otto, like, of the mundanity and of the like, you can't really do all the kingly shit you want to do because we've got a whole bunch of other concerns.
Alrighty, guys. Well, what did you guys think about that episode? I liked it. Liked it quite a bit. Can't wait to see how the rest of the season unfolds. Good. That ending was a shocker, that's for sure. Leave your thoughts down below. Man, that's wild.
Yeah.
Watch a whole season of television, not recognize.
No, for sure. I was sitting there wondering myself.
Yeah, as I was rewatching Boys, I was switching off between Boys and House of the Dragon. This rewatch period. That's funny. Oh, well.
House of the Boys.
House of the Boys. Leave your thoughts down below. Be sure to subscribe, leave a like, and we'll catch you all soon, Reject Nation. Peace. Tyler, this month we are shouting out our patrons, and we are going, which son of a bitch celebrity did they remind us of the most?
Son of a bitch.
And you know which celebrity you remind us of the most? Like, I don't even, in a blink, I'm like, boom, that's it.
Boom.
Right there. You know which celebrity you remind me of? The Incredible Hulk.
Yes. The very real world celebrity, the Incredible Hulk.
Remind me of the Incredible Hulk. Because you're like, he's nice.
He's a fun-loving guy.
He's a fun-loving, jovial teddy bear of a man. Look at him.
Gentle gigante.
But then the second you turn off one of Tyler's monitors, oh my God, he be thrashing and dashing. They're calling the police on Tyler. The amount of domestic violence disruptions from neighbors. There's no one even in his apartment.
No.
It's just his neighbors complaining about the noise from him destroying yet another unit in that building.
Soon the thing's going to collapse, Tyler.
But Tyler, you got to learn how to wield that anger to do good in the world.
That's right. You got to focus that energy.
For example, there's like crazy homeless people outside of my house these days.
Hella homeless folk.
I could use a Hulk.
You should smash them.
Do they directly talk to me? No, but they're talking to something.
They're talking to someone.
They're yelling profanities at something. And frankly, they need to be crushed.
Yeah, that's the only solution.
So, Tyler,
The only clear solution.
I would love for you to use your Hulk skills and come out here and clean up the streets of the homeless out here in LA. We need it, man. They don't really ever do anything to us, but, they're just kind of weird to look at.
But, they force you to confront a side of reality that I just don't want to acknowledge at all.
They just make you a little uncomfortable when you're filling up gas at the gas station. Well, you think like, crap, I don't have any money. I mean, 99% of the time, they don't even ask you for money. But you're like, I don't like the way you look.
You just look like money.
I just want you to smash them, if you don't mind.
What's a few people smashed among friends,
Especially ones who, frankly, are not really contributing to the economy at the
They're
time.
not really helping the bottom line.
If you're not helping out the economy, are you a
Why are you alive?
These are real questions.
These are the deep philosophical quandaries, boy. And you could help us solve them by not ever having to engage with them again.
So Tyler, get to work, man, because I just don't like those seconds of my life when I glance over. It just makes me
Yeah, I don't like being removed from my bubble.
Yeah, I don't like driving in the street and then looking to the left of me and there's some person shouting some racist slurs at the light.
Yeah, while trying to clean my window. It's like pick a lane.
Yeah. What, are you helping me or are you racist?
Yes.
It's kind of contradictory.
And why are you in the middle of the street?
With one boob hanging out.
With one boob.
I got to beat them up, Tyler.
That's right, Tyler. It's the only way. It's the only thing can be done.
Because those seconds are just unpleasant.
Across a lifetime, that's at least a minute or three.
Minute, two, 3, maybe 5.
Maybe 10 minutes.
And frankly, I still got time for that.
Nope. That's 10 minutes that could be used elsewhere. Like shouting you out.
Stop being lazy.
Yeah.
And clean up these streets.
Get out there, Tyler. Avenge us.